Okay, we are live now. Okay. At the dawn of fourth industrial revolution, humanity is standing at the crossroad, and the world is approaching an unprecedented disruptive change. Living in the imagination age, humanity is playing the game of life. Life is like a fantasy dreamland in one spectrum, a world where technology promises abundance, creativity, and limitless possibility. Everything, comfort, convenience, and control is within reach. Yet, in the other spectrum, a harsher story unfolds. Millions across the world still wake up without food, without shelter, without certainty. While some imagine a future never seen before, others struggle to survive the present. At this moment in history, the question is no longer whether change is coming. The question is how we will write the next chapter of humanity. Will the future become a heaven for all, or will rising inequality, fragmentation, and indifference force humanity to cry out for the most basic necessity of life? With this profound question in mind, dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Creativity Cafe, a space for reflective conversation, intellectual adda, and leadership story that truly matters. I'm your host, Dr. S M A Moin, reader in storytelling and brand communication at Queen Mary University of London. Our guest today has experienced leadership where decision truly mattered, not in theory, but in real life. He has led in moments of peace and in moments of conflict, served under the blue helmet of the United Nations in some of the world's most dangerous and vulnerable regions, and later helped shape a nation's digital future in the age of imagination. From the battlefield to peacekeeping missions, from classroom to policymaking tables, he has led soldiers, guided young leaders, built trust across cultures, and worked to ensure that technology serves humanity, not the other way around. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great honor to welcome Brigadier General Mohammad Khalil Rahman, a soldier, a peacekeeper, an educator, a policymaker, and a lifelong learner. Brigadier Khalil, welcome to Creativity Cafe. It's truly a privilege to have you with us today.
Thank you very much, Dr. Moin. It's my honor to be in your platform, and I'm inspired to listen to the introduction that you have made. Hopefully, I can live up to your expectations and also deliver in the days to come to fulfill your expectations. So thank you very much for the welcome.
Khalil, that's absolutely a pleasure for me because I have not only welcomed you to this platform, but I've seen you in personal life from close proximity that you have lived a life with charisma, character, substance, style, image, and integrity. So I have no doubt that you will be a valuable personality to talk about leadership for my audience today. So let's start with the first thing first. So where leadership begins truly, not with titles, but with lived experience and life stories. I know that you have led across many different worlds. I have just touched upon a few. Could you briefly share your leadership journey with us and what leadership truly means to you today?
Okay, thank you very much. That's a really genuine and very thought-provoking question for me. So before I start answering your question, I'm a genuine fan of great leaders. and also the various leadership studies. Today's civilization is the outcome and endeavor of such great leaders, and their journey really amazes me. Okay, to talk about me, I started my childhood from a village where I lived up to the age of 5, and then I had been in the cities and going back to villages uh, time and again for various purposes. So the nature always attracted me. The beauty, the rivers, and the people around always attracted me. And the most important thing that I felt happy once I could be of some use to the people around, the needy people around. It might be financial need, it might be physical needs. So I think that is the birthplace of leadership. Once you have the compassion, sympathy, and also likings for the people. So having said that, uh, the next journey onwards took me to the cadet college and then to army, United Nation, and so that gave me the experience of training the people in army and also leading my troops in the war zone, which gave me unique experience. And also as educator in the graduate students, it's another one very fascinating area where I get always amazed by the creativity and the thought process of the young generation. And also my luck of serving in the telecom regulator at the government level also helped me in understanding the digital transformation necessity and also the cybersecurity and also the personal data protection needs. So all these experience are great to me. So you said that I am a leader, but I'm not very sure about it. So I try to deliver my responsibilities. Since my co-workers and my people around me, they can see how much really I could lead them. So telling this much, what to me leadership is. So first of all, leadership starts with self. The next statement that I say, leadership is a voluntary moral function. So, may I reiterate this sentence? Leadership is a voluntary moral function, meaning to say that you cannot pay a leadership, you cannot hire a leader who will lead you. So, it has to be voluntary and it has to be a moral function, meaning the ethical aspect of it has to be built in. Um, and to me, it's leadership starts when you go beyond the call of your duty. And the last point here I want to make, a leader is character, courage, competence, compassion, critical innovative thinking, and communication ability. So these are the compelling needs of a leader. So I'll leave it here. Uh, if you want to ask me further questions or clarifications or my understanding of this. Thank you.
Khalil, that's wonderful. To be honest with you, it was a wonderful journey, actually. I was also having myself educated throughout your journey that you have portrayed in a very narrative way. So I was seeing that it's a narrative art unfolding in a way that really bringing leadership, not only from the pages of the books to the real life and how leaders become a leader, because become leaders. So I think some of the aspects that I would like to actually sort of discuss here for my audience who are seeing now or who will be seeing, because you really brought a huge amount of knowledge just while answering one question. And I'm so fascinated about it. So you said that today's world is a function of the leaders. So that means we wanted to say that leaders are the ones who envision the world first in their mind, and not only they envision the world, they are the one who are the also architect. So they mobilize resources, employ people, and they create the world. So if we have a better world today, that is also kind of the credit goes to the leader. And again, where we are faltering, that's also discredit goes to the leader. That's fantastic. You are sharing your journey from village to cadet college to army to United Nations in the battlefield. And I was really thinking that, wow, that really answers the most important leadership questions we have been debating years after years. Are leaders born or they are made? So you, with your story, you are just showing that leaders are not only born, they are also made. So that's a fascinating, actually, answer I got just from your life. These are the answers. Why this resonate with me? Because these are not the answers. These are the answers coming from the life. And that is what is fascinating. Then you talked about 5C, probably 5C, starting character, courage, compassion. Can you just sort of go through slowly those five C's? Because I think it is very easy to remember, but very, very invaluable for will be very, very invaluable for our audience. Could you just touch upon those again? Because I really love it. I want to hear it one more time.
Okay, thank you very much. That is really the catch of what I said so far. Character, meaning the integrity. A leader has to be showing the same face. He should not falter or deviate from his principles. So that is the character that we call it integrity. Then many of the people might have competence in others, but he needs to have courage because uh, leadership is a difficult journey. Maybe at later stage we might discuss about that leaders are hardly popular, and you get very less extensive rewards out of leadership. So the leadership has to be intrinsic, and that's why you have to have courage to do it. So this courage is basically two kind, if I say, is mental courage and physical courage. Both are equally important. Especially if I mentioned about the physical courage, that is in the battlefield and military, and in the crisis situation, it is the physical courage which comes in and brings in solution to the problems or crisis. And next is competence. So this is a very unique area. Like in present day world, we call the servant leadership. That means the leader has to have something to offer, some services to deliver. So that comes from competence. Someone talking in a very loud voice and commanding voice doesn't really contribute much if he doesn't have competence. So a leader has to look at him or her and has to see what he has to offer to the world. So that's a competence is very important. And compassion, so someone having character, courage, competence needs to have the compassion, love for the creation. And only then these leaderships comes voluntary from someone. So the next point comes in is the critical and innovative thinking. So this comes into my mind because leadership means leading, means nobody's ahead of him. He has to invent and show the path and follow the path. So unless somebody is critical in thinking, rational in thinking, and innovative, he cannot really lead. So someone has to be a critical and innovative thinker to be a leader. And lastly, I said, I might have all these, someone might have all of these, but the problem is, if we cannot communicate all these things to the audience needed, things will not be moved. So these are the things are very essential, I think, for a leader. That's all from me. Thank you.
Fantastic. So that is also like actually that is a 6C now. So because you added communication at last, which
Yeah.
I tend to say storytelling because I'm a storyteller by profession. And yeah, but Khalil, is really, I mean, you unfolded a leader and the leader's attributes in such a fascinating way that really I think that anybody watching or anybody will be watching They have a lot to take forward. Some of the things I just that really fascinated me. I want to show my fascination by uttering the same thing that you have said, and where I particularly got the beauty in your conversation. So you said that, well, compassion. So leader has to have love for the creation. That's really, really, really powerful. He didn't say that leader has to have love for his people. It's like for the creation, whole creation, not differentiating. Leader has to think like the grand universe. So I remember that I was reading a book actually, and it was written by one of the naval captain, U.S. Navy captain, and his book, first book was "It's Your Ship," and this ship was fascinating because it got the Spoken Trophy Award, and a Spoken Trophy Award means that when the admiral of the fleet has got the most important task in mind, some ship comes to his mind, and he assigns that particular ship to for the mission because of the readiness. And he was the commander of that ship, the captain. And then he explained that there are like a 14 steps model that how you can become a great leader and how you can practice leadership. Then he voluntarily took a retirement, and then even he was teaching at Harvard, MIT, Yale. He was famous, I mean, in teaching leadership discipline. After 7 years of his retirement, he wrote another book. It's My Ship. And there he said that, wow, when I was in the Navy, I was so short-sighted. I was not even a leader. I was so short-sighted that my vision was on my ship only. I never walked out and did something so that the ship beside me or my friendship can get better. But when I realized that naval warfare, it works in a battle group. So the high value unit, aircraft carrier, is in the middle and all the ships are surrounding it. If my ship is the best, doesn't matter if another ship falter, we lose our mission. So you said that love for the creation. You have even expanded that understanding. And he, in his second book, said that, well, when I'm saying this thing, you can realize that I'm not a leader. So you also mentioned previously that, well, Dr. Moin, you told me that I'm a leader, but I'm not sure. So this uncertainty also makes great leader, because this kind of uncertainty or this kind of humility saves leader from arrogance. That's really, really powerful. I can go on and on, because the points you have actually brought today, it sets the agenda of leadership discussion. So probably we will dive into those in our future episodes. But let me ask you the second question that I was keeping in my mind. So
Okay, just if I may interrupt,
yeah.
just to add with you, that is, so in short, what I say is you have to be concerned for, not for your organization, you have to be concerned for the ecosystem. So if someone thinks about the total ecosystem, then it gives a great leadership. Nowadays, we see a lot of leaders, they're concerned about their society only, concerned about their class or country or continent. So these leaders are really creating divide, rifts, not uniting the people. So that's why leadership should be focusing on the ecosystem, not to the organization. So thank you.
That's very powerful, Khalil. That's very powerful, and that's really resonate with my heart. I'm writing a leadership book now for Routledge, and I have a chapter which is cosmic leadership, where I said that leaders has to look after the cosmos. They are a node in the cosmos, so they need to find out their role and the relationship. And you are exactly saying the same kind of thing, that you need to think about the ecosystem. Our stakeholders are not the people, those who are living today. Our stakeholders could be the people, those who will be coming after 10 years, 20 years. So we have to create the world for them as well. So you see, you are bringing a whole library of leadership in this discussion. So thank you very much for that. It's a brilliant, my dear friend, Khalil. Okay, so you have led in war, in peacekeeping missions, in civilian roles, and in the classroom with the students. How leadership felt in this setting and what remained the same? Would you like to just throw some lights on that? I mean, when you are wearing different hats, how did you feel? I mean, is there a difference that different hats are giving you different kind of understanding about leadership? You know.
Okay, so as you said, you showed you're wearing a cap, and also you showed another one cap. So if you wear two hats, it doesn't make Moin different. It's the same Moin wearing different hats. So basic things actually remains the same. Only the situation and the audience and the environment dictates you to do things in a different way. Otherwise, leadership is same everywhere. Now, if I may say that, okay, my leadership in military, especially I want to mention about the two incidents. Once I was serving in the war zone in United Nations. Once I was in East Timor in 2001, serving in the border liaison team of a multinational peacekeeping force in East Timor side and the Indonesian army on the other side. So I was a military observer. So you know that military observers are unarmed and they do not wear any bulletproof jackets. They do not have any protection whatsoever. But they work in between two armed armies. So in one afternoon, I found them. Some of the attack helicopters are flying over me, and I am on the top of a hill in a tent with another one of my mate there. So just then we received a voice call or in walkie-talkie that there had been some shooting incidences, and both the parties are shooting at each other. Now, as a military observer, impartial, you got to go and intervene the situation. So there, me along with my other friend from different country, wearing without any bulletproof, just on foot, we had to go there. Once the attack helicopters were flying over us. So in fact, what made me do that, because I could have shot by any of the sides at any of the time. So I think the sense of duty and responsibility has led me to go in between them and tackle the situation. So this is very important. And I think that your sense of responsibility makes sure that you are not bothered about your life much. So this is one. The other thing is in 2006, I was there in Democratic Republic of Congo with my troops there. And at the midnight, I started listening to heavy firing over my camp. And I just caught up and was not sure what to do. But this situation remained only about, I think, 10 seconds. Then and then, I was onto my boots, just pushing and shouting people, taking them out of their beds, those who were not in the post, and just shouting at the top of my voice and asking them to take place at various things. So there is the question comes about the physical courage. There you don't know what is happening, but you got to push people and make, and this courage here is contagious. That means your followers will get strength, bravery from you. So this is very important. So these two incidents taught me, the first one is sense of responsibility, and number two, in there, that physical courage is important in the battlefield to lead the people. And there you do not have a lot of time to decide what to do, what not to do. So these are the two incidents that I have to share, or I had shared with you in military. Uh, and the difficult part is here, military, so you're dealing with lives. But advantage here is you have trained people with you who are likely to follow your command. So you have advantages and disadvantages both, but you got to know how to motivate them, lead them. Now about the serving in the civil sectors in the government machineries for ICT rules and regulations. So there the thing is, I found it to be very comfortable working with them because they really do not get the military leadership who owns, builds tasks. So once they find it that the leader own them and they have belief in them, trust in them, they are ready to even sacrifice their life because they do not really get these types of leadership. So it encouraged me a lot. Like I served in an organization for 1.5 years. Once I was leaving that organization, civil organization, I felt equally bad as I was feeling once I was leaving the military organization. So meaning to say, they love you and they are ready to sacrifice, provided you really care about them and also for the right cause. And I am a lifelong learner. I want to remain that. I frequently engage with the students in teaching or inspiring them. So I do that on purpose. First of all, to learn what they're thinking about the world now, what they're thinking about the leadership, what are the changes or difference in which they think about it. This is that I want to learn. And also at the same time, I want to share my experience with them that I acquired over my lifespan. So these are the dimension that motivates me to work with the um, various kinds of stakeholders. So here I want to mention one thing here, that popularity and leadership. To me, leaders are never popular until
Khalil, I'm not hearing you. Probably there is a connection problem, but I'm waiting for you to rejoin again. Khalil, Khalil, rejoin again. Log out and rejoin. So, dear audience, I think Khalil will be joining in a moment, but you can see that he was bringing some fascinating understanding about leadership, and he gave two examples from his peacekeeping mission. Uh, yeah, Khalil, that's fine. I mean, I was also trying to summarize, but you were offline for a moment. But continue, please.
okay. So what I was saying about, it's about the popularity and leadership.
Yeah.
So to me, if a leader is popular, once he is doing his assigned job or on the midway or start of the journey, so if he thinks that I need to be popular to my subordinates or my co-workers, that's the wrong thing. You might be popular, you might not be popular, even once you have reached the goal and objectives. And leaders should never think about popularity uh, because you will lose sight, you lose direction. And leader's job is to take the followers or co-workers in a path which they would not have otherwise taken, and that is out of the comfort zone to a new destination. So have to work a very hard path. So as natural human being or normal being, the followers is unlikely to like it because you will take them out of their comfort zone. So if a leader thinks about giving comfort, becoming popular, and then feeling happy that all my people loves me, like me, so I think this is a wrong signal to the leaders. So this is, I think, an important thing that I have learned, because in many cases, uh, I received the feedback later, not once I was with them, guiding them, commanding them, or leading them. Their appreciations and good wishes, but definitely I receive those at later stage. So this is important. Leaders should not be looking for popularity. So there is a very interesting proverb. It is very well known that if you want to be popular, sell ice cream. Do not try to be a leader. Okay, thank you.
Khalil, that's a wealth of experience. You are bringing not only a book of leadership, but a library of leadership actually in this discussion. I need to definitely ponder on those and try to summarize something for my audience, because such invaluable lessons you are bringing. I mean, it's worth summarizing. First of all, you talked about courage, and you took us into the battlefield, into the conflict zone in United Nations, and you said that you might have character, you might have competency, but sometimes is the physical courage that also matter. It's not you that who is bringing this feeling in front of us so that we can feel. But same kind of feeling happened with a ambulance driver during the First World War, and his name is what is his name is okay, let me tell it. His name is Robert William Service, and he wrote a poem at the time. Carry on. It's a long poem, but I will just read out a few lines so that my audience can see that how the two different characters, two different times, they are bringing kind of the same insight, and this is so universal for leadership. So the first stanza only, I'm just going to read out. It's easy to fight when everything is right, and you are mad with the thrill and the glory. It's easy to cheer when victory is near and wallow in fields that are gory. It's a different song when everything is wrong, when you are feeling infernally mortal, when it is 10 against 1 and hope there is none. Buck up, little soldier, buck up and chortle. Carry on, carry on. So you can see that both of you, one during peacekeeping mission, another during the First World War, they have got the same kind of feeling, and they say that the courage is very important. But then you so dramatically, I can see that you are a storyteller as well, brought this military leadership into the civilian context, and you truly said that possibly in civilian context, people do not feel that the leaders own them. For whatever the reason, I do not know. Sometime, especially in the public sector, maybe people are probably getting posted from one area to another. But you said that when you demonstrate that you own them, there is a different kind of trust that you can build. And this is really strong. And you can feel it. And you felt it in your life. The third lens that you brought here to see leadership, and that's very, very fascinating. I was really fascinated by that. You said that when you are in the classroom and then you are in front of the next generation of leaders, they are not living the same values. They are not seeing the world with the same eyes. How do you respond to them? And you said that I want to know what they are thinking. Standing in front of them and asking that, what are you thinking? Let me know. That's so powerful that you want to understand them, understanding your people. And then you said that then what I do, then I extend my experience so that what they can see or what they can think, I just extend the horizon. I give my experience. So their vision and my story, it becomes so powerful. That creates a new kind of tide of leadership. And we need those kind of leadership tide as we navigate through the imagination age. And you brought things like popularity and leadership. So leaders, you said that leaders has to stand for what is right. So if you are seeking popularity, if you are trying to make everybody happy, the word you used, so powerful, you said that then you will lose your sight. But you also said one thing is so profound. You said that as a leader, you have to take them to a course, and that course is outside your comfort zone. It's a very difficult path. Many people will talk about, say, oh, leader has to have a vision so they can see the horizon. So if having vision is fantastic, that's charismatic leadership. But what about taking them along the way? And along the way, if you want to take them sometime, you've got to be hands-on leader. You don't have all the answers, but you depend on the team, and we win as a team. So those are really, really powerful, Khalil. You are just bringing the the golden nuggets of leadership in this discussion, and I'm very, very grateful for all this knowledge that you are bringing for my channel and for my audience. Let me, if you don't want to add anything, but let me ask the next question. So it's about leadership then and now. Do you think leadership in the 21st century is the same as it was before? What has changed? And what new qualities are essential for today's leaders?
Okay, so in fact, I think this is the discussion that says the leadership in 21st century and in the VUCA world. So learning the basics of leadership is great, but bringing them to today's life is very important. That means 21st century. So for doing that, we need to first understand the present environment. The first thing is, as I say, the characteristics. First thing is the people that we lead now, the leaders lead now, is there is a generation gap between the leaders and led. So normally this age is called the age of exponential change or disruptive time, meaning to say that it is said that in last 50 years, the amount of disruption and technological development has taken place is equal to last 500 years. What people went through the changes in last 50 years is equivalent to last 500 years. That means all the civilizations, 1 to 3, equals to the fourth industrial revolution. So here, there is a huge gap. By numerical numbers, the generation gap might be 20, 25 years, but actually, the generation gap is much more than that. That's why a leader has to understand that and try to minimize the gap as much as possible. Our beautiful memories of my childhood, going along the river, reading the books, listening to the stories of the grandmas and the fairy tales, these are not the generation of present generation Z or generation Alpha, whatever we say. So if we want to relate our childhood with them, it's absolutely not the right thing to do. So this is one that a leader must understand, this generation gap. Number 2 is globalization. Our next generation, whom we are leading now, is residing in an era where the globalization is common, and it is an interconnected world where you get the real-time data all the time. It is a cross-religious, cross-cultural environment they are living in, which the leaders did not go through and understand. So this aspect also needs to be taken into consideration.
Yeah, Khalil, again, you were off, actually. I'm waiting for you to come back. But you were talking about some important points. Let me underscore them for my audience. So you are saying that the major problems that we are facing at this time is that the generation gap. So the generation gap is huge. So leaders need to understand the generation gaps, because there are huge generation gap between the leaders and the led. So it's not just say 25 years, because the development, you have given an example that possibly the changes that happened in last 50 years is more than the changes that happened in last 500 years. So, uh, so one of the things that you mentioned is the understanding of generation gap will be very, very invaluable for leaders. But then you also talked about globalization. Okay, Khalil, I think I'm not sure. Some problem was there. So you can hear me now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm back.
Okay, that's fine.
Sorry.
So no, no, that's fine. I was just I just was discussing about what you said. So I discussed that leaders need to understand the generation gap because it's a huge generation gap, not just 25 years, because we need to understand from the changes happen, possibly last 50 years. You mentioned very eloquently that the last 50 years change is equivalent to 500 years changes. Then you talk about globalization where reality is unfolding. Always this generation is getting real-time data. So we need to understand that. So you can go from there.
Okay. The other thing that I think which characterizes this 21st century, it's about the VUCA world, which we call this vulnerable, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. So everything is defined here. Besides the promises of good things they bring in here. So other thing is about the security, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, robotics, Internet of Things, cloud, biotechnology, and all these things has brought about the transformation of the society, transformation of the job, transformation of education, entertainment, industries, and the governance. So all these things needs to be in the head of a leader. It's not just leading a group of people. So the environment or the situation is so diverse and complex now. So leadership is really, really very challenging and adventurous now. I do not use the word difficult, but it is really, really very adventurous. And someone needs to be really ready with all the required tools. So here, with all these characteristics, what it is doing to the globe is that it is increasing the divides, like the divide between the West and East, divide between the rich and poor, divide between the male and female. So this is uh, increasingly making the gap bigger and bigger. And more so in today's world, as you see, due to the irregular or in proportionate presence of citizens in the net is also creating discrimination because the data that is being captured by internet or the AI is mostly from the West, where everything is transactions or interactions happens there. But in the Asia or Africa or in the developing and countries, so much data is not available. So, and also you see in the case of male and female, the presence of female is less in the cyberspace than that of male, which the data is being captured by the artificial intelligence. So it is by default getting a biased data set, which is giving a wrong bite of training to the AIs. So that the decisions we might get is like to be influenced or biased. So I think all these things, in short, there are a lot of things to unfold. But I think these are few of the things that came into mind as you asked the question that what are the challenges that these 21st century leadership offers so that the leaders are excited to go about it and develop various skill set and understanding to lead from the front.
Fantastic, Khalil. That's really, really very powerful. Actually, while you were answering my question, that question, you have also answered another question partially because I was about to ask you about the VUCA world, but you touched upon that, and the way you were explaining the challenges. Actually, it was so vivid that I could see that actually even in front of my eyes. And you said that the fourth industrial revolution technologies that is blurring the boundaries between the physical, digital, and also the the biological realm. And these are creating opportunities as well as challenges. So probably you can now choose what kind of the son or daughter you want to actually get through gene editing and manufacturing things in the test tube now is possible. But it's also a moral and ethical question: should you do this or not, or to what extent you do that? So you also said that the transformation is not only just in business, but it is in the society, it is in the sector of education, it is in the sector of entertainment. So the governance, setting regulation, and because it's a digital world now, it's a global village. Now, I mean, sometime, I remember that one time CEO of Google said that what regulation? Because we are in the digital world, whose regulation we are going to conform? Are you going to conform the European regulation or American regulation or Asian regulation? So these are challenges. These are not that we are only going to blame the the data giant, but they have also created enormous opportunities. So I love the way you put it, because you said that I will not say this is difficult. I would say that these are challenging and adventurous. So we need leaders who like to take challenge and who like to take them and their people on an adventurous journey. So maybe if I can just ask you another sort of experience or something like that. From your experience, how can leaders navigate disruption and uncertainty without losing direction? Would you like to throw some light on that? I know that you covered a little bit, but I'm now looking to see more about how leaders will be behaving while seeing those challenges. So, or how did you actually behave when you were sort of shaping the sort of digital communication sector as a senior leader in Bangladesh?
Uh, okay, thank you very much. That's a conceptual question, so I'll share my views. So it might vary. The first thing is about the how to lead in this VUCA world, disruptive world, and also cyber world, whatever we name it. So here the moral compass is the first thing. Meaning that we got to interact with people across the globe with different culture, different religion, different environment, weather, but leadership is given in many cases from a central position. So unless the leader is morally upright, ethically upright, so that leadership is not going to sustain. So whether you are giving it a physical leadership or a hybrid or in a virtual world, that trust and displaying of your moral ethics, values will guide you through all this disruption. We cannot stop the disruption the way it's exponentially increasing. So that earning that faith is very important. The other aspect is in this age, we should not try to regulate things. There should be guidelines rather than regulations and laws, where many of the things you cannot really implement. So here, if I say there are autonomous cars, autonomous weapons. So these are the ammunition is being fired by the uh, drone or machines, and also the driverless cars. So here, if there is some accident or wrongdoing, whom we are going to give the blame to? So is it the machines? So here it's important that we set guidelines and take the responsibility by the leaders of the human, not relying onto the machines. So these will set the ethical guidelines or the moral compass of a leader. And the other thing is, leaders are by default now those who are a bit elderly, in a disadvantageous position, that they did not experience or brought up through the technological innovations and the changes. So the leaders now has to be more aggressive in learning the experience that the followers or the companions they are going through. So leaders has to be aggressive learner to live in the contemporary world. Unless we learn, we really cannot uh, give right kind of decisions. And in many cases, as this is a virtual world now, the decisions leader has to make certain degree of decentralization, so that the people on ground, those who are closer to the information, can take the right decision, not bringing it onto the top. So this decentralization is important. So in military, we say that it's mission-oriented task. Leaders should give a mission-oriented task and then monitor and support once needed, not much of interfere. So this is an important thing to understand, and especially this lack of knowledge and experience, I'm foreseeing or I'm feeling that between the first world and the developing and the underdeveloped world, this is increasing day by day. So which is going to bring about inequality and disturbance in these places. So to address these disruptions, so the theory is, here the key is skill, not the role which will be mattering. So leaders need to skill up, not that in which role I am placed. So digital literacy, cybersecurity awareness, and giving service to the people, those who need, and relentlessly working on it, I think is the clue to your questions of supporting the people. Thank you.
Fantastic, Khalil. That was really mind-blowing, because some of the things that you mentioned, these are so relevant, and you mentioned so well. I need to actually just rehearse myself to settle it in my mind, and also that will be beneficial for my audience. So I mean, some of the things that you said, which really touched my heart, and I really find that so valuable. So you said the regulation should not be controlling thing. It's about setting the guidelines. So you are talking about moral principles. Because if we want to regulate, we probably might be sort of controlling the innovation and creativity. So we should not regulate. Then you talked about, then Khalil talked about, the decentralization. So decentralization is another important aspect, because if we empower the leaders, those who are also working under us, then they can create. So we should not inhibit innovation, rather we should facilitate it. And that's why moral principles or guidelines will play far more important role than a set of regulation. So that was really mind-blowing, Khalil, that I really liked it. And then you talked about the skill and role aspect. So it's about developing the skill, and the skill needed in the digital age. It's not about the role, because some of the roles might be outdated. We don't have that role at all. So so these are kind of the things that and you said that leaders need to be an aggressive learner. So that's very important, because the context is continuously changing. So the leader's knowledge, experience might be irrelevant all on a sudden. And if they are not aggressive learner, they are not equipping themselves in a way that they are in a position to lead. So that's kind of brought to the end of our session. I will just ask one question very quickly. Just try to give your thought from the context of Bangladesh, where you are living at the moment. So you know that all this, the technologies that we are seeing under fourth industrial revolution or in the imagination age, while they are bringing enormous opportunities, but we are also fearful that this can create another layer of differentiation. So there another layer of have and have nots. So how Bangladesh can tackle this challenge where they not only create a group of haves who has got everything, but at the same time they want to reduce the gap between have and have nots. What's your position on that? How we can do that? So, say for example, if you are sort of the in a if you get into a key role in Bangladesh today and given this responsibility, how would you handle that?
Okay, thank you very much. That is a great practical questions. The first thing that I want to answer that, uh, like many other countries, Bangladesh is also not capitalizing on the experience and expertise of that was taught by COVID to us. During that time, most of the time things were done online, saving a lot of power, the fossil fuel, and also time, which also brought about closeness within the family. But once the COVID is over, we sort of started forgetting all those and coming back to old normal. I think that is very disheartening. Uh, so many of the things, good things of uh, digital transformation, those was offered by COVID time, should have been carried forward. So that is how Bangladesh and all the rest of the world can bring about good benefits out of them. The thing about this fourth industrial revolution and position of our country, that I think Bangladesh is a country of lots of population. So without the service or support of the technology and the processes offered by artificial intelligence, the data analytics, and also connectivity. So the services cannot be reached to the people at various corners of the country. So we may think it in terms of providing education, medical services, other very essential services. So, and also the financial platforms, the platform economy. So I think these are very important things for the betterment of the country. Uh, so in one hand, we are in an advantageous position that those things are more or less ready, so we can capitalize onto them and further enhance the skill and develop the systems, upgrade the systems. So that will bring about good fortune for us and good work uh, capacities or working scopes for our generations. So without the automation, without the interconnection with the globe, and without transforming into society 5.0, that should be our dream, and also governance. So in a nutshell, what I mean to say is that we must take the advantage of the fourth industrial revolution technologies and the processes, and also equip ourselves, make the platforms ready, make our next all generations ready for using it. And I think we can, Bangladesh can prosper very quickly, adopting various technologies and also with the rest of the world and the partners. So I'm very hopeful and optimistic, and these are going to reduce the various kinds of divide. So thank you very much. That's all about the response from my side to your last question.
Khalil, that's really, really fantastic because you brought invaluable experience, concept, and principles that govern leadership today, or that opens up the path for the leaders who can navigate into the imagination age. So, thank you for reminding us that leadership is not about command alone, it's about service. You said that love for the creation is about wisdom, and more importantly, you reminded us that it's about responsibility, not just for today's generation, for the generations to come, and for the whole ecosystem. Today's conversation tells us that something powerful about leadership. So, in a VUCA world, clarity beats control, values outlast power, and purpose outlives position. What is more important that came out from your discussion today, or from your invaluable leadership nuggets that you have generously shared us today, is the moral compass that should guide leaders while they navigate through the VUCA world. Dear audience, thank you for joining us at Creativity Adda today. Until we meet again, keep reflecting, keep questioning, and keep leading with purpose. Good night, and thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I want to thank you and the people who are listening now and will be listening subsequently. My best wishes, and keep connected with this creativity and Adda platform. I think we'll be enlightened out of it. So thank you very much for all this wonderful initiative.
Thank you. Bye bye.